I again, Dr. Nisha Arora is a proficient educator, passionate trainer, occasional writer of YouTube and Learned Forever. Her educational background in mathematics, she has done her MPhil degree under my supervision from GCA and obtained PhD degree from JNV on supply chain management and corporate training experience in data science facilitates her to communicate effectively with both sides and help them better understand one another. Learning new skill sets excites her. She has fanatical about knowledge sharing by using interactive pedagogical tools. She loves to interact with the students, enhance their participation and attainment, and more importantly, to create an improved learning environment. Dr. Arora has more than a decade experience in teaching, research, and training in the area of mathematics, statistics, operation research, and data science, machine learning, and related tools. She enjoys contributing to online research communities, delivering training, workshop, technical talks, developing content in the area of her expertise. Her online profiles speak about her work very well. I invite Dr. Nisha Arora. Thank you.
Hello. I hope I am audible to everyone.
Yes, you are audible, Nisha.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. First of all, I would like to thank Sanjay Jain, sir, and GCA for inviting me for this talk. And in today's session, I would be talking about Excel for academician. And because talking about how academicians and faculties, staff members can use Excel, there are various ways which can help and ease your day-to-day task in academic world. But we can't learn everything in 45-50 minutes. So I will try to give you an idea what you can do with Excel and how you can learn, how you can explore it further. And any specific topic, if you want to study, then maybe we can do it sometime later. So let me share my screen. I think, MK sir, yeah. I request everyone to please turn off your video and keep yourself on mute for a better experience. And I have also asked it in the WhatsApp group. Anyone joining again, please click on join now. Don't click on present now, because when you click on present now, it creates some disturbance, right? So I hope you can see my screen, my Excel file. Can you see this? This sheet, working between sheets and file, the sheet of maths marks, creating custom list. Can you see these? Okay, so I'm audible to everyone and everyone can see me. Now, I will be talking about some basic things, but as I'm not aware about your current level of comfortable with Excel, how comfortable you are with Excel, and I would like to give you more than what you already know. So I would suggest you, if you feel that I'm going very fast and you can't catch it with that speed, just write in the chat window, go slow. So I get an idea that I need to make it slow so that you understand. If you think that I'm making something explained which is very trivial to you, you can write go fast so I can speed up that thing. Or otherwise, you can write in the chat window, skip this. Suppose I'm explaining some particular function or some particular functionality and you feel you already know this, please write in the chat box, skip this so that I have an idea that I can move to the next topic, right? And I believe language should not be any problem, but please once write in the chat window that would you like me to speak in English, Hindi or mixed? It's okay if you want me to speak in Hindi or mixed, because English is just a language. It's not a measure of intelligence. I myself have studied in Hindi medium till my graduation. So it's okay. The main thing is you should be able to understand what I'm telling you. So please write in the chat window what language you want me to use, English, Hindi or mixed. Okay, fine. So I'm starting, and any point of time, if you feel you want to communicate to me something, you write in the chat box. I'll try to check the chat box in between, or otherwise I think Sanjay sir will tell me if something I am missing in the chat box. So let's start today. I hope everyone knows basic Excels. All of you are using some Excel for your day-to-day work, managing attendance, marks, mentor list, or maybe these days we do everything. Faculties do duties in events organizing, conference organizing, seminars, and cultural and sports and whatnot. So you have to manage the data in Excel files. And you have multiple sheets. You need to play around with the sheets. You need to do something to make your task fast. So today we will be talking about, I'll be using this Excel workbook and I'll be sharing this Excel workbook and all related file with Sanjay sir, and he will forward to you all. So don't worry and don't ask about these things in the chat window. Now, first thing, suppose you want to open multiple Excel files in one go. Suppose you want to do something with multiple Excel files. So I have here some Excel files, Excel for beginners, Excel for learners, and I think English mark, this is also Excel file. These are all Excel files. Suppose you want to open multiple Excel files. So you can select all those Excel files which you want to open with using your shift and arrow keys. I'm selecting these two. And when you hit enter from your keyboard, you will be able to see one by one both the Excel files are opening. So these steps just to make your task fast. And suppose you want to switch between Excel files. So you need to use Control Tab. You see that when I'm using Control Tab, this is Excel for academician. Again, Control Tab, Excel for beginners. Again, Control Tab, Excel for learners. So I'm able to switch between the files very quickly. So it will save my time to switch between the files. Anyways, as of now, I'm just using Excel for academicians because time is limited and we need to do something which is useful, especially for academicians. Now, I believe you might be already knowing this, but let me just show you some basic things that you, first of all, when you learn any particular tool or any particular software or anything, first of all, get yourself comfortable with that tool, and this will give you a confidence that you can now play around with the tool, you can explore the tool. So don't look at this another tool. Let me remove this. This was a pen. So this is your Excel which you see when you open Excel file. My version is quite an old version, I think 2007. Your might be the latest one, so you might be having some differences, but most of the work is same, so that's okay. It's the power button. We all know that it's the office button, and in which we have these new. So to open a new file, create a new file, open some file. Here you see the recent documents. Whatever the recent Excel files I was working with, I can see here and I can quickly go to those files and save. Save as also, you have multiple options. You can save as Excel workbook, you can save as PDF, you can save as text file or CSV file, those other formats, print, prepare, and all those things. So let's not discuss all those things. Some of the Excel options you should always explore. And I'm not showing you all those Excel options, but what I'm showing you is what you should explore to get better at Excel. So when you click on Excel options, this is something edit custom list on which I have also created a YouTube video. These are add-ins. So those who know some of the add-ins we have here, solver add-in, it's here for solving operation research problem like linear programming problem and something else. We have analysis tool pack, which is there for statistical analysis. Those who are doing something, correlation, regression, t-test, ANOVA, everything you can do with this tool pack. And there are many other tool packs. And here you have some other settings, advanced settings, proofing, formulas. So you can go ahead and you can explore these options and you can see what you want to do. Like in this also, you can change some of the customization of your Excel. So just go ahead and play with these values. First of all, make yourself comfortable with the tool. In the tool, this thing is called ribbon. So you see first tab is home tab. Second, if you click here, insert tab, then page layout, formulas, data, review, and these things. So these are different tabs, and in all these tabs, we have different functionalities, right? So in view, you can see normal, page layout, page break, and all those, zoom and everything. So you can again explore all these things. This is very important. I use it frequently, and it really helps us to freeze some of the columns and rows. so that we don't get lose of what particular column or row we are looking at. So this thing I think I have also covered in my YouTube video. And data also, it's there. So sorting, filtering some of the things, and this is something related to getting external data. It's Power Query. So I don't think you people are using that. Here you have some of the formulas. And one more thing I would like to show you, when you look at these tabs,
Nisha, please mute. Your mic is muted by someone. Please unmute your mic.
okay. I request everyone, please, those who are sincere, don't mute the speaker. Everyone's experience gets troubled by this. And if you are just interested in playing around with the tool, you can play around later, not in the training session. Please don't do that. Okay. And I think I need to mute. I am muting all of the participants except me. So Sanjay sir can unmute himself to talk to me so that I don't get the disturbance. Okay. So we were here. So I was telling that we have these launch pads in some of the options. Like in alignment, there are many other options which can't be fit in the small group of options here. So they have created a launch pad. If you click, you see there are so many options related to alignment. And similarly, you have all others, so you should explore. This small bar here, you can see, please mute yourself. Those who are unmuted, please mute yourself.
DRO.
Okay, so
presentation आ रहा है मैम?
okay,
आ रहा है?
I think I need to speak like this. Anyways, those who are interested to learn, please focus on what I am talking. So these are different options which you should explore. And this is also a very small toolbar here. You can see that these small icons of save and undo, redo something in hyperlink. So these are quick access toolbar. And if you click here, this is quick access toolbar. You can always customize this quick access toolbar. There are various ways to customize it, means what things you want to put it here. So what we do is whatever options we frequently use, we put them in quick access toolbar so that we can quickly, without going to the particular top, we can quickly access that particular tool, right? And definitely we have options. If I click here, show below the ribbon. So you see, now my quick access toolbar is here below the ribbon. Earlier it was above the ribbon. So you can play around and you can check the setting and make it comfortable for you. There are various ways you can.
Excuse me, ma'am. Sorry to interrupt. We can't see your screen.
I think some notorious participants are doing all these things. My screen is shared already. Everyone, can you see the screen?
Nisha, we are seeing your screen. We have no problem. At the host, we are getting your screen.
So everyone, you can see the screen.
Now it's visible, ma'am.
I got it. Someone has, maybe someone else has started presenting. So I was not on presenting mode. So please everyone, don't, it's not the place to play around. Keep yourself on mute. Video should be on mute. Audio should be on mute. No presentation, nothing. You should be just listening to me. And if there is anything which you want to interact, you can write in the chat box. I will try to answer as many queries as I can. Okay. So we were talking about these things. Now let's quickly talk about some basic things which we all use, formulas. So what I have done is I have created some data randomly. Basically, I have used rand between function, but just to show you, these are some numbers which I have put in these two different cells. And by default, we are in home tab. There is one more option which you should learn. By default, the data type is general, and there are different other data types, number, date, time, percentage, fraction. So you should learn when to use the particular data type and how to use that. So by default, it's general. I'm working in that format only. And suppose we want to do something with this data. We want to write some formula. So if I want to multiply this entry with this entry, so basically to write the formula, we just write here equal to mark. Whenever you want to compute something in Excel, you need to always start with equal to sign. Okay. After that, you need to write the formula. So how we write the formula? There are various ways again. First of all is, and the comfortable way is, I select the cell which I want to use for calculation. I put the operation which I want to use from my keyboard. So star is for multiplication. I select another cell, hit enter. So I get this multiplied by this in the cell, right? Otherwise, second option is that I can write it like this, equal to sign. Now, instead of selecting the cell directly, I can give the cell address. I hope everyone knows the cell address. Cell address is the column name and the row number. So column is A, capital A, and row is 2. In Excel, you can write a small a's also. It's not case sensitive, so it will work there also. And star sign, and you can here write B2 from your keyboard, hit enter. Again, you will get the same thing. Now, suppose you want to do the same operation for all these entries, all these 19 data points. Again, there are various ways. First thing, you can copy this, select, Control C, you can Control V, means paste it here, and you get this value. This is basically, you can see here in the formula tab, A3 into B3. So by default, when you copy a formula in Excel, please note that it automatically changes the cell references. It's very important thing to note because sometimes we don't want to do that. So we will see what can be done in that case, right? So this is how we can do. Another possibility is you select this thing and by default your cursor is this kind of a plus sign. You see this moving cursor. So you take it here. You see this kind of a plus sign which is black and you drag it here. And you can drag it up to whatever cell you want to apply this formula. So you drag, you see the values. Here I am seeing the value 0 because we don't have any entry here. So Excel assumes these values are 0. So it is giving us 0 values. Secondly, we have one more option to do this is there are various options. I'm just telling the frequently used option. You can just select here and you get this plus sign when you move the cursor there, double click. You see all the entries are filled up. So how many entries it will fill now? Entries, it will actually look at the left column, just preceding column. And if we have 20 here till row number 20, so it is filling up to 20. Suppose I delete this value and now I do this same task again. I have this formula. What I have done is I have deleted this observation from this side. And I'm asking Excel to copy the formula with double click, so it has stopped here because Excel assumes that you have data only up to this row number 15. So Excel stops working there and you need to tell specifically Excel to copy this formula. Then you need to again select and again do this. Sorry. Again do this and drag this. So basically there are various ways to do the same thing in Excel. You need to find out that for your particular example, what works best, right? So I usually prefer writing the formula here and double click option, but sometimes we need to drag also. There are other options also, Control D and L, using tables and everything. So we are not talking about all those options. Now, when I talk about formula, you see that you can see the formula here also. Another option is, by default, you are seeing the number here. And if you want to see how this number is being calculated, you can press F2 from your keyboard. When you press F2, you see the formula is visible. So you get an idea. So sometimes this is a very simple example. When you write a complicated formula, like during my PhD work, I was not having access to the software. So I was doing all the calculation in Excel. And if I do a minute mistake, I want to check it again. So F2, and I can check the entire formula. I can see the highlighted cell which I have used. So if there is something wrong, you can go back and you can correct it, right? And there is another one option. So in this sheet, I have used some other formulas also. If I want to see all the formulas in one go, the shortcut is Control Tilt. I see all these shortcuts, right? So this kind of a tilt, I'm writing it here. You have this tilt before your number key 1. So you press Control Tilt, you see all the formulas. So I have used formulas here. I can see all the formulas. I want to go back to the previous view. Again, Control Tilt. So let me do that again. Yeah. So this is basically to see the formula. There are various other links as well, other ways also. Now you see this is also insert function. And if you go to formula here also you have insert function. So suppose you want to do something and you don't remember the function name, then what you can do is, suppose I want to here count how many values are there in this particular column. So to count that, I don't remember actually what formula can I use. I'm new to Excel. I don't know anything about the Excel, but Excel will help me. So how it will help me? Either I click on this FX, which is insert function, or I go to this formula tab, click on this insert function. Both will open up this window. And you see here, search for a new function. So I can search for a new function. How can I search for a new function? Okay, I can go fast. Thank you for your feedback. So to search for a new function, suppose I want to count, I will write here count. I will say go. So it will suggest me all the functions which include count, some kind of count. Now I can explore what is countf, what is countf, and frequency and all those things. And suppose I want to use it, I can find help on this function, or I can simply experiment with this function. So I can try here count. And you see here also I'm getting all these options which are starting with this count, not including count, but starting with count. Now you press tab, you will be able to see a bracket and after that the arguments. Now it is saying argument 1 is value 1 and then there are other arguments. So first of all you need to tell Excel what you want to count, right? So you can tell Excel that we want to count these values. Okay, so you can select the range. I hope everyone knows how to select using your mouse. So we have done that. And you should close the bracket. Sometimes if you skip closing the bracket, Excel automatically do that for you. Sometimes it throws the error that I hope you forgot some bracket, so do the correction. So it's a good habit to close the bracket, but let's skip this as of now. So Excel has told me that I have 18 values here. And let me run count here. So Excel will tell me how many values are there in this. Let me just quickly check. So I have 18 here. So you see here, this is missing, but Excel is counting because it's there in the data range. And just for count, you don't even need to check, use the count function. You see here, just a minute. When you select these things, you see here, you can see the small thing here, count 18. Let me zoom it. Oh, it's zooming. Count 18. So by default, if your column or the row have some numerical values, Excel tell few things automatically. The count, the average, and the sum. So to just check the count or sum or average, you don't even need to apply the formula. But just we are learning the formula, so I have told you these options. So I would suggest you get play with the formula and functions and see what can you do. There are in the formula tab, you have different other functions, different other options as well. I hope, yep. So you see here, we have mathematical formulas here. Those who want to do some cos, tan, log, exponential. These are the functions, date and time function, text function. So you can go ahead and you can explore these functions, how these functions work. So I have written Ravi Sharma. I want to make the complete name Ravi Sharma. So I can use concatenate function. So equal to, and this is the function, first function. I'm getting which two values, this one, comma, this one. Okay. Yeah, and hit enter. So you see when I'm using this function, there is no space. If I want to give a space also, I need to define a string, which is just the space in between, as you do in any other programming language also. So now I'm asking it to concatenate Ravi space Sharma. It will do that. So you see Ravi Sharma here. And similarly, the same operation without a space you can use just by using and sign also. So this I have done, E3 and F3, you get Kishan Jain. And definitely you can change uppercase, lowercase. So you can play around with different function. That's all about function. Let me quickly talk about custom list. So I hope I should not explain this. It's already explained here. This is the link of my YouTube. I just have 2 videos on Excel, unfortunately, on my YouTube channel. I will create more. So it's already there. So I'm not explaining, but I'm just saying that if you create custom list, so you can directly insert the list which you have used. So suppose I want to enter the Hindi month name Chaitra Baishakh, and by default these names are not saved in Excel. January, February are saved in Excel. If you just write Jan, Feb, and if you drag this list, Excel will automatically fill all the months, right? But the Hindi months names are not there. So if I want to write Chaitra Baishakh, so what I can do is I have already created the list. I drag and I get the name Chaitra Baishakh, Jyeshta, Ashad, all the Hindi month name, right? So similarly, you can create your own custom list. Suppose you are working in a college where some mentees are assigned to you, and you want to do something, their marks, their attendance, their phone number, their records, their meeting details, everything you keep in Excel file. And every time you don't want to type the name of all those mentees. So you can create the list and you can create the custom list. All the options are written here also. So I'll be sharing this file and this Word document also with you. You see, I have added a hyperlink. So when I have clicked there, automatically it has opened up the Word document. So these things makes your life easy. And now quickly let me tell you this thing which is more useful to everyone. So what I want to tell you is, first of all, let me delete this data. We would be computing this data again. So I have some students and maths, physics, chemistry, and English. I want to fill up their marks, right? So their marks are in different files. Like mathematics marks for these students are saved in this sheet. I hope you understand. This is sheet. This is sheet. These are sheets. And file or workbook are different, right? So physics marks are there, chemistry marks are there. Or otherwise you might have marks in the first test, second test, mid-sem and final exam, and you are trying to compile those marks in one particular sheet. Then it's useful. So suppose I want to fill up here all these marks in one sheet. So how we can do that? We don't want to copy paste each and every entry. So we have easy option. We can write equal to sign and take your mouse there. Your cursor should be there on the sheet which you are using, maths, this sheet. I want to fill up this marks for Akarsh Garg. So select that. When you select, you see that automatically the formula shows maths, exclamation sign, B3, the cell address, right? So it is telling Excel that go to math sheet and go to this cell and take this entry. Hit enter directly. You see that in your the sheet I have named working between sheets and file. You see the marks is automatically filled. And again, I'm dragging, so I'm able to see all those marks. You can match Ayush Sirohi 34 marks. Ayush Sirohi 34 marks. So automatically these are. Suppose someone changed the marks at later stage, something happens, re-evaluation or something. So Anurag Bali is 69 as of now. If I make it 89, so what happens? It's 89 here. Okay. So you see here the change is reflecting in your master sheet. So it helps you when you club those marks or maybe attendance. You have attendance also in lecture and in tutorial, and you combine to make a debar list. So you can use these functions, and at times we do some manipulation. We all know that sometimes we need to do. So sometimes we change something in the original file, so these changes would get reflected in the master sheet automatically without you doing anything, right? If you don't want these changes to be reflected, I'll tell you how can we do that. So this we have done for math. Similarly, we can do for physics. Another option is we can simply write here the sheet name, which is physics. Press this exclamation sign from your keyboard and write the cell address B3. B3. It is taking the mark 62. Let's check physics, Akarsh Garg 62, right? So this is how we can fill up the marks for all different subjects. And let me quickly fill marks for chemistry also. I hope it is useful and you are able to understand. What happens is when participants do it for the first time, they make a mistake. They go here, they select the marks they want to fill. They go back to the original file and then they hit enter. It's the mistake you see. When I go back to this file, it is taking up the data from the current file. I don't want to take up the data from this sheet, working between sheets and file. I want to take the data from physics. So don't do this mistake. It's a small mistake, but it leads to frustration when you are doing it for the first time, right? So you just need to write physics exclamation B3. Or the easy way is go to that file and select that file, select that cell. So I hope it is useful. Now let me fill English marks also, then we will drag and make the sheet complete. So I don't have English marks here in the same workbook. I got English marks from some other faculty which is not in my department. These are applied science faculties. I am making list. English I am getting from someone else. It's there in different workbook. So let me open the file. I have again used hyperlink if you are noticing it. It's the hyperlink. It's a new workbook, English marks, in which I just have one sheet. This sheet and marks of these students, right? So now I need to fill up the marks for English. It's again very easy. Equal to sign, don't forget this. And you need to keep that file open to make it easy. This is English marks. Go to the cell which you are selecting. I hope it's clear. Hit enter. You see 89. First students, Akarsh Garg, 89 marks. I hope it is making sense to you. No issues with that. So once you are done with that, I have used Control tab to quickly switch between the tabs, and you can again drag these values. So you will see that all the values are. I think in English marks. Okay. I think it was locked. I will tell you why it was locked. As of now, let me correct it. So this is English marks. Yeah. So I see all these marks. I'll tell you what happened wrong, why I was having 89 everywhere. So I hope this is useful to you and you are able to understand. Now you want to sum up all these values. So we all know how to sum up. There are various ways to sum up. So first way which beginners do is this maths marks plus sign, physics marks plus sign, chemistry plus sign, and so on. It's time consuming. I just have 4 columns. If I have 20 columns, it's really time consuming. Another way is using sum function. So when I use sum function, I can define the range that you need to sum up these 4. You notice here B3 to E3. It's here B to E. Also, the cells are highlighted. So it's easy to catch the mistake if you are doing something. So you see the sum is 288. And the simplest option is using the auto sum function. So it's wonderful function in Excel. I think because it's text here, so it's not automatically taking the auto sum function. But if we use auto sum function, sometimes Excel directly takes the values which you are trying to add up. So you can use that function also, but you need to be careful. You need to check what all rows or columns it is adding up, right? So let me fill up the entries. Now percentage if you want to calculate. So I hope everyone knows how to compute the percentage, but let me quickly tell you, this was 100. Just a minute. English marks was also out of 100 because I think I have drag drop, so it was become 0. And I have done total marks for maths, physics, chemistry, English, everything 100. So our grand total is 400. So to take percentage, this is total marks achieved by that student divided by this 400 and hit enter. Now this is 72% for Akarsh Garg. But what happens when I drag this? I see these errors divided by 0. So these errors, why I am saying this? Look carefully. The first cell, the formula says F3 divided by F13. And when you double click, you see the cells are highlighted. This is F3 and this is F13, right? So it's okay. We wanted to do that. Automatically it is computing the percentage. Now when I do that here, I see F4 divided by F14. F4 is okay because Aditya Malhotra total marks is 287. That's okay. But denominator, you notice it's taking F14. Why it is taking F14? I told you that in Excel, whenever we copy paste the formula or we drag the formula, then Excel changes the cell references automatically. Excel assumes that because F3 is changed to F4, so you want to change F13 to F14. And similarly, excuse me for that, you see here, it is taking F5 divided by F15. So basically every cell, it is shifting. If you click here, it is dividing it by this cell. And this cell have no entry, so it is assuming that you are dividing it by 0. Okay, I can skip this. Okay, let me be fast. So I want to make it fixed that every time I want to divide it by F13. How can we do that? There are various ways, I'll explain, but the shortcut is F4. F4, when you press, it basically locks that particular cell. Now, if you drag the formula, it will lock and you see the percentage every time it is dividing by F13. So this is how you can do some basic computation and working between sheets and file. Now, let me just talk about a little more about this F4 function in this different file. You can play around in the same file also or any other file. Yeah, Shubham, I hope you are already aware about these things. So you see here, I have some faculties, their basic salaries, DA and all these calculations. And to make it simple, I have not used AGP, which is grade pay, medical allowance, other allowance area, no professional tax. I'm just trying to compute salaries, net salaries of these things, right? So first of all, the basic salary I have written, and you see that DA is here to 0.2, which is 20%. DA is basically applied on basic salary. So suppose I want to compute DA for Dr. Sudeep Kalra. What I will do is select this cell, multiply it by this cell. And as I said, we can drag the formula, but if I drag, basically I will get 0 because it is taking now A16. Let me take it like this. Yeah, this is A16. So now this time it will take A17 and so on. So to fix that, first of all, you need to understand that by default, this is A16. Okay. So when I drag the formula in the same column, next row, it will compute A17. Let's look at this formula. This is A17. Next row, this is A18. This is changing B also, B5, B6, B7. So we want to change B6, 7 and so on because these are basic salary for different people. Although in this data I have written it same, but it might be different for different people, right? So we want this column to change values accordingly, but we don't want this value to be changed, right? So first thing is, if I just want to make it fixed, there are 4 ways we can do the referencing. We call it addressing, right? So there are, I can use $sign. If I use $sign here and if I use $sign here, or simply I press F4, so I'll get all these options. I'll show you. So basically it has logged this cell A16. Now wherever I'll copy this formula, paste this formula, it will take the same cell A16. So let me see what happens. It's working fine. I'm able to see the DA calculation for all the faculties, which is basic multiplied by DA. Now if I want to use the same formula for HRA I have written in the adjacent cell here, 50%. So if I do HRA, if I drag here, what happens is it is still taking A16. Notice it is still taking A16, but my HRA value is here written in B16. I want to use B16. I don't want to use A16. So what we can do is here, when we were locking this, we need to lock 16 so that it don't take the values from 17, 18 and rest of the cells, but we don't want to lock A. So remove the $sign from here. I hope it's clear when to use which referencing. It's trivial for those who are already doing this, but it's very important for those who are new to this. And it's really frustrating, or maybe it creates errors when you compute using wrong referencing. Okay. So you see that when you fix this $16, if you go to this cell, just a minute, this cell, you see it is, let me show it like this. You see B5, B6, B7, these cells are changing. A16, so it is making same. 16 is fixed. But when we go here, it is taking B16. And now 16 is already fixed. But instead of A, it is taking B. So when you want to drag the formula to the right side, you don't want to lock it completely. So this is partial locking, right? So as of now, I'm using $sign. I'm telling you where to put the $sign. Do you want to put the $sign before A or before the number or before both of them, right? So this is one simple thing which I'm telling you, right? Now, suppose you want to compute the TA. So TA is basically travel allowance. It's fixed 1,000 for everyone. So I have taken 1,000. I can type here 1,000 also, but I'm taking from this cell because at some point, suppose the college decide that we are making TA to be 1,200 or 200 or 800, something else. So you can just change one cell and automatically it gets updated here, right? But I don't want to drag this formula because if I drag, it will take 0. I hope you understand now. So I want to lock this. And because this TA is not going to be used in rest of the columns, so I can lock it completely. So using F4, I'm getting $sign before C, $sign before 16. And when I drag this, so I see everyone's TA is same, irrespective of their designation, experience, or whatever it is. Gross salary, you see the formula here is basic plus DA plus HRA plus TA. So again, you can sum up these values. So I leave it for you to do. PF, you can calculate basic plus DA and it's 12%. And TDS is gross salary 10% and net salary. So I leave this part for you to compute and I hope everyone can do that. And you can include other factors also and you can just play around using the absolute referencing or relative referencing, right? So just to show you the shortcuts I have written here for Windows user and for Mac user, it is function for F4. So let me just show you here. I'm just writing just for showing up you that this is the cell A4, right? I'm hitting enter, I'm getting A4. So if I want to lock this cell, I have multiple options. Just take your mouse there and hit F4. When you hit F4 first time, you get it's locked completely. When you hit F4 again, you see 4 is locked, A is free. When you hit F4 again, A is locked, 4 is free. And again F4, you will get the original A4, right? So this is how you can use this shortcut to make your life easy. I hope it's clear and it's not very trivial. So we can move to the next one. Count. I believe many of you are already using this count and this faculties use a lot, right? So I'll show you some basic functions here. Count, count A, these functions, count blank, if, ifs, and some of the shortcuts, one very useful add-ins, which is when you want to write the marks in words. It's really, really frustrating when you want to write the marks of 60 students in words and you need to manually type. I don't want to do that. There are various add-ins for that. I'll show you how. So bear with me. If you already know this, I believe you will get something new. So, okay. One thing, let me tell you that these are the marks. I have taken again the same marks which were there in this sheet. But what I have done is these marks, if you see, these marks are taken from the sheets. So these are formula based marks. So if you change something in the sheet of maths, physics or English or something, you will see the marks change here in the same file. But suppose I want to now make it fixed. I don't want to make the changes again. So what we can do is we can select the marks, copy. You can copy from here also. I prefer Control C and you take it here. And I hope you already know there are various options in paste. Here you have paste formula, values, transpose, links, special, everything. So paste special, you can go here, or otherwise I prefer right click, paste special. And here you have formulas and values. So if I click on values, I am not doing that intentionally right now. If I click on values and click OK, then I will see the same values here, but those values will be now fixed. Now the change in these sheets, physics, chemistry, math, will not change my master sheet, right? And when we copy something, you see these dotted lines are blinking. So it's irritating. If you want to get rid of that, just press escape. Now it's better. So let me take you to this file. So these numbers I have filled from the same file by using paste values. So I'm not changing that. Now you see some of the cells are highlighted. How these are highlighted, that I will tell later. As of now, I'm telling you these formulas, right? So let me first remove these entries and I'll use these formulas. First of all, I think I have already told you the count function. And otherwise also when you select that particular range, you see the count is 10. So we have 10 marks of students, right? And even if I delete some marks and I select, I believe we will get, okay, count is 9. So it is showing us that overall we have 9 marks in this particular column. Control Z, these shortcut works everywhere. So let me first use count function. Although we can see here, but suppose I want to write it nicely, that how many students I have, how many subjects I have, I write it nicely. So I want to use count function as of now. So equal to sound, I hope everyone remembers count, and tab. Make it a habit to use tab. Otherwise you need to, go here, double click, that can be done. Or otherwise simply you can use count, then press the bracket, the small bracket from your keyboard, that can be also done. When you read any formula, make sure to understand the arguments. It's simple and at times we ignore, but it's really important as a beginner, you focus on every single detail. That way you will learn more. So you see, first argument is value 1. If you click here, it will tell you something about this value. And second argument is in bracket, big bracket, what we call that, square bracket. So whenever you see arguments, the argument which is in square bracket, you can ignore that argument. We will see in some other function that sometimes we can ignore some of the arguments. But this argument is necessary. If without this argument, if you simply apply count function, it will say that it has some errors. Maybe you forgot to give the range. So you need to provide the range. So let's provide the range to it. And it is telling us, okay, the count is 10. And obviously, I hope you all know that we can drag it and we get the count 10. So by default, this is counting B2 up to B11. You can see here also. And if you click, you see the range is selected. So it's a nice way to visualize what all things you are counting, right? And similarly, if you click here, you see this is selected. So you are counting physics column and chemistry and so on. So by default, it was B2, B11. This is C2 up to C11 and so on. So because we have not used absolute referencing, it is shifting up from B to C to E to up to and so on. And if I drag the formula here, it will shift B3 to B12 and so on, which we don't want anyways. Now, can you use the same formula to count the names also? I don't think we can use. So let me show you. If we copy the formula and we paste it here, we see here 0. The formula says count A2 to A11. I'm using count formula. It should count the names, but I can't see how many names are there. So if I want to count something which is text, which is not number, we need to use count A function. So count A and rest of the things are same. Hit enter, you will see now. So it's showing up that there are 10 students and definitely 10 marks here. So this is one thing about count function. Now missing marks. Suppose sometimes we have marks or attendance which is missing. Some students have not appeared for the exam. And we have the complete, it's a very toy data set, small data set, but we have a large Excel sheet and we want to see if we have some missing marks, we need to see what can be done for that student and for that particular subject. So there is a wonderful function which is count blank. So let me write count. It is suggesting me I'm using down arrow key or up arrow key to browse between these functions, and I'm using tab When I use tab, it's asking me to give the argument range. So let me select the range, this one, and I hit enter. It says that no missing marks. Means we have marks for all these entries. Let's try. If I delete this, I see one missing. Means it's saying that for Akarsh Garg, in one subject, marks are missing. If I delete this, I see 2 marks are missing, and 3 are missing, and even 4 are missing. So I see that how we can compute the missing marks. Now we can drag this thing, and we see that there are no missing marks because I have filled up all the entries. But if we have some missing marks, we will be able to identify that we have missing marks here. And definitely we can use conditional formatting to highlight something. I'll show you some of the conditional formatting thing also. So this was one thing. Second
Nisha?
thing, yes sir.
Try to sum up.
Okay sir, just give me 2 minutes,
Okay.
2-3 minutes here. So distinction, suppose you want to compute how many students scored greater than 75 or marks in any particular subject, or total marks, here is total marks you can compute. And to find out how many students have done greater than 75, so you can use COUNTIF function. So this is COUNTIF, and you can give the range. This is the range, and here you need to give the criteria. So criteria is suppose greater than equal to 75. So you need to write the criteria in double quotes. I have used double quotes, greater than equal to 75. So it is showing that if there is any marks which is okay, I missed writing 75. So it shows that for Akarsh Garg, these 2 subjects are having distinction because greater than 75 marks. And these cells I have highlighted also using conditional formatting. I hope you can do that later on. I tell you this important part, I skipped this conditional formatting, and this is COUNTIFs. If you have multiple conditions which you want to tell, suppose you are selecting students for some scholarship and you want to tell the students whose marks in maths, physics, chemistry, every subject greater than 75. Then instead of COUNTIF, you can use COUNTIFs. You see here, COUNTIFs. Then you need to give 3 ranges. So what I have done is COUNTIF. The first is I have given this range B2 to B11. Maths marks, I have given the condition greater than equal to 80. So this is the condition to avail the scholarship. And this is physics marks greater than equal to 80 and chemistry marks greater than equal to 60. So I have applied this condition and I have checked there is only one student who is eligible. This Akshit Parekh, who is eligible because he met these 3 conditions to appear for that scholarship, right? Let me just quickly tell you this thing. For this, I have this code here. I'll share this code with you, and it's there on internet also. So let me select the code, Control C. This is a Word file simply, and let's go back to here. You need to press Alt F11. Don't worry if you find it fast. All the steps are written in the Excel file. Alt F11, go to Insert, go to Module, paste, Control V. Once you are done with that, save. It will ask something, click on yes, go to your original sheet, it's here. Now you see a new function appears here, English number function. So this function, which is not already there in Excel by default. Now because you have pasted that code, you see this function. Now you write any function here and you will be able to see its marks in this form, 234. So whatever function you use here, you will see that marks here. Okay, you can check this. Maybe I have used something. So I'll share this code with you. And I already have the steps written here that how you need to do this, and you will be able to see. Now, because time don't allow me, but I would like to show you that if you learn conditional formatting and this one thing, data validation, it's really important. You can circle invalid data and something. And conditional formatting is really, really very important task thing for educationalists, that you can conditionally format. You can quickly see absents, presents, or missing data entry. You can see when you create debar list, you want to see the students whose overall attendance is less than 75%, right? So you can highlight those students so you don't need to manually see, you see the highlighted result. And you see the pattern here. Okay, this student is being absent for a long time, so we need to talk to this student. There might be something wrong with him. if you do data validation, you will see that this is wrong entry. So when you were filling up the attendance in your class directly in your Excel, maybe by mistake you have filled AP. It's either A or P. So you can always go back and do that. Although these days we all have ERP systems, but maybe some of you are already, some of you are using Excel for these things. So I'm showing you these things. So just to do that, this file I'm not showing you, but I just want to tell you that these things will make your life easy. In this file, what I have done is I have done some conditional formatting. You see the cells highlighted. I have computed percentage pass fail. I have computed eligibility for some exam, average marks, above average marks in maths, yes or no. For this student, Akarsh Garg, it's 53 in maths, average marks in maths is 70.2. So if it is above average or not, so it is saying me not. Similarly in physics, in all subjects, highest marks for this student in any subject, so it is 89 in English. And it is also telling this I have not done manually. This is all formulas in Excel. This is one-time effort which will make your life easy. So it is showing me that for Akarsh Garg, highest marks in English. And similarly for the next student, highest marks is 79, which is there in physics. And even you can see second highest marks. I have used large function. If I use large 2 or maybe large 3, let me do large 2. It shows me second highest mark 75. So see in this range for Aditya Malhotra, highest marks is 79 in physics. Second highest marks is 75 in math. So by using the formula, you can see these things. Also, when you do result analysis in examination cell, you see that highest marks in mathematics is this, physics, chemistry, English, this. And who scored the highest marks? You don't need to go and see the name of that student. There might be spelling mistakes and it's actually time consuming. You can put up a formula. You see highest marks of these students. And I have even created a text which says that Amit Kumar scored 97 in maths, Akshit Parikh scored 99 in physics, and so on. So let me just show you the magic. Suppose in this column I change some marks. Aditya Malhotra, it is 75. Let me make it 99. So now 99 becomes highest. You see the conditional formatting, it's highlighted. You see highest marks, now it is changed to 99. Name, now it is changed to Aditya Malhotra, and text is also changed. That Aditya Malhotra scored 99 in math. And similarly, these things will also change when you change the data. So one time effort, if you create for your mark, any other sheet, you learn some of the formulas, then it will make your life easy. Here I have used these if and if or conditional formatting, true, false, match and index. So many things I can't tell you right now, but I hope you find this useful. And if you have any query, quickly let me know in your chat window. Shekha Chen, I believe you are not happy with me using that term. I'm sorry about that. I'll not use the notorious term. But every participant should also cooperate. That's okay. I feel you didn't find it nice. I should take care in future. Anyone else? Any query, please quickly tell me. Otherwise, you can reach out to me. You can Google my LinkedIn profile, or I write answer on Quora also. I have my own YouTube channel where you can ask me queries, or otherwise you can reach out to me, and I'll be sharing my Excel files and all the documents with Sanjay sir. Any queries?
Yes, it is audible. Yes. I would like to thank to Dr. Nisha Arora for such an interesting and comprehensive presentation. The title of the talk, MS Excel for Academician, is very much beneficial to everybody. Dr. Nisha explained each and every step of Excel with very sincerity. Thanks a lot to Dr. Nisha on the behalf of whole organizing committee. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you all.